Hofstede in Luxembourg. Cultural shift since Gerd Hofstede. My name is Dr. Ursula Schinzel. I would like to present you one of my researches, and you always can have a look at my weblog ursulaschinzel.com. The chapter overview of this research is Introduction, Literature Review, Cultural Dimensions, Hofstede, Luxembourg, HRM, Hypothesis, Methods, Results, Conclusion, Implications, Future Research and Reference. Introduction. My research question is, where does Luxembourg, in comparison to France and Germany, fit in on the 7 Hofstede cultural dimensions today? And have there been cultural shifts since Hofstede's original study? My contribution to knowledge is adding the data that I collected about Luxembourg to Hofstede's data, as Hofstede bases his research on Luxembourg estimates. My originality is a separation into Luxembourg nationals and Luxembourg including all the foreigners, and my results in Hofstede's maps of the world. My research methodology is first review of the literature, second participant observation, third interviews, fourth questionnaires, always collecting primary data. Literature review, cultural dimensions, Gerd Hofstede. He is born in the Netherlands in 1928 and did a major IBM HRM research in the 1960s, collecting 116,000 questionnaires and identifying 4 cultural dimensions: individualism, collectivism, uncertainty, avoidance, power distance, masculinity, femininity, long-term orientation, indulgence versus restraint, and monumentalism. These 3 were added later. He dared to contradict Maslow, Herzberg and McClelland and brought cultural research from the US to Europe. The definition of culture by Hofstede is culture is measured in terms of all of the following: symbols, heroes, rituals, values, practices, norms, beliefs, self-perceptions, cognitive ability and behaviors. Heroes are persons that serve as model, symbols are words, gestures, pictures or objects, rituals are collective activities, and values are broad tendencies, feelings that come in pairings like evil versus good. Hofstede's cultural dimensions are shown here, and on the next slide you can see his definition. The literature review went over a large era, before Hofstede, after, besides and beyond, as I called it. Hofstede's own criticism, because he was criticized heavily and he criticized his own work. He says surveys are not a suitable way of measuring cultural differences. Nations are not the best units for studying cultures. A study of the subsidiary of one company cannot provide information about entire national cultures. The IBM data are old and therefore obsolete, and 4 or 5 dimensions are not. Let's have a look. It's a unitary parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy in the middle of Europe, with the Grand Duke Henry before it was Jean, and the Prime Minister Xavier Bettel before it was Jean-Claude Juncker, and 3 official languages: Luxembourgish, French and German. The capital, Luxembourg, has 100,000 inhabitants, and the total of the population is 546,000. The motto is "Wir wollen bleiben wat wir sind," we want to remain what we are. The methods: participant observation. I went to a lot of meetings, events, and did participant observation, and then my methodology, the interviews in the company Lindab, and elaboration of questions with Hofstede. Gerd Hofstede helped me a lot with this research. Thank you very much. Pre-study with the HR community in Luxembourg. Validation by the Director HR in Lindab. Thank you very much for your help. Interviewing of Lindab, Luxembourg, France and Germany. Again, very much, thank you very much. I appreciate your help. Transcript writing and the comparison of the interviews in Luxembourg, France and Germany. Questionnaires. Methods. So, what did I do? Questionnaire evaluation together with Gerd Hofstede. Review and validation. Thank you again. Questionnaire translation from English to German, French, and it was decided I had it also in Luxembourgish, but I didn't do it. Pre-study with the HR community in Luxembourg. Questionnaire review with the HR director Lindab, and the distribution at Lindab, Luxembourg, France and Germany. Collection of filled-in questionnaires. Excel sheet elaboration for the questionnaires. Fill in all questionnaires in Excel sheet and clean up the database on Excel. Analyze database on Excel. Calculation of the mean scores per question in Excel. Calculation of the cultural dimensions in Excel and in SPSS logistic regression on the result. The participant observation gave that people in Luxembourg prefer meeting in person in a hotel or a bank over champagne or a cocktail, lunch or dinner. Here you go. Interview results, symbols, values, rituals. And Lindab Luxembourg, it's about LindabLife, excellence in construction, the open door. France, leading in building, construction, and Lindab Germany, standardization, conquering new markets, code of ethics, cost analysis, the quality handbook, and the procedures. Values in Luxembourg, customer success be the number one, down to earth, neatness and order, corporate social responsibility, mutual trust, quality in work, punctuality. In France, teamwork, good relations among the employees, and in Germany, satisfied client, long-term orientation, reliability. And the rituals in Luxembourg, like Christmas party, seniority award, and some sports events. In France, a Christmas party, and in Germany, the birthday cake, Christmas party, and meeting for success. Results. Question. The Hofstede's cultural dimensions were calculated from the questionnaire and gave that power distance in Luxembourg nationals is very low compared to Hofstede's estimates, only 29. Uncertainty avoidance, 95, very high compared to 70 in the estimates. Individualism, very low, 34 only, means high collectivist people. Masculinity is medium, 54. Long-term oriented country. Individualism versus, indulgence versus restraint, 55 is medium, and monumentalism, 24, is higher than the 10, and Hofstede holds no data there. Compared to France and Germany in Lindab and also Hofstede's estimates. He holds data for France and Germany, estimates for for Luxembourg. You can see the differences in uncertainty avoidance, 95 Luxembourg nationals, and the Lindab France only 28. You can see the big difference in long-term orientation, 65 to 37, or 84, look at that, Lindab Germany, or indulgence versus restraint, 55 compared to France, 80, or Germany, 46. Compared to other countries like Japan, USA, China, you can see the big difference in monumentalism, for example, 57 for the USA, or uncertainty avoidance, 46 in USA, 30 China, or the pure distance in China, 80, very high. Individualism in China, 20, and the USA, 91. This is a big difference. Now, in the cultural maps, power distance, individualism, you can see that Luxembourg nationals are in the left upper quarter and alone. You can see the difference to the other countries. The cultural map, power distance, uncertainty avoidance, you can see that Luxembourg nationals are to be found in the left lower quarter, again alone. Here you can see the cultural map, indulgence versus restraint, long-term orientation, and Luxembourg nationals. They are to be found next to Hofstede's Luxembourg. Implication of practices. Implication of culture on practices. Luxembourg holds a unique position on Hofstede's map, being surrounded by no other country in the world. No other country in the world has low power distance, high uncertainty avoidance, low individualism, means high collectivism, medium masculinity, high long-term orientation, medium high indulgence versus restraint, and low monumental. Implications of culture and practices. Again, in Germany finds its place next to Hofstede's Germany. No significant cultural change there. Has flat hierarchy and individualistic people. Germans feel threatened by uncertainty and ambiguity and try to avoid these situations. Germans accept that power is distributed unequally. France scores low on power distance and low on individualism, low on uncertainty avoidance, and there is a strong influence by the migration base in France. Discussion and organizations. So Luxembourg scores low on PDI, low on individualism, high on collectivism, high on uncertainty avoidance, medium on masculinity, high on long-term orientation, high on indulgence versus restraint, and high on minimalism. It is a multinational, multicultural, multilingual environment. It has a vivid culture of meetings, events, fairs, outings, all in person. Prefers private contacts, and traditional HR practices remain mainly unchanged. It is reluctant to accept any change, aims to defend its own identity, and has developed its own specific language with the aim to distinguish itself from its neighboring countries. A cultural shift in Hofstede's dimensions in Luxembourg, France, and Germany was provoked by factors such as globalization, expatriation, mobility, and the internet, and of others. My limitations are, as a single researcher, I cannot cope with big databases like Globe or the Engelhardt. I researched one company in Luxembourg, Lindab, and more companies and civil service should be researched. And the time limitations, it was in the frame of my doctorate and not a lifetime research, and there could be done more statistics. Future research could be the link with cross-cultural research with new media, new technologies, HRM, communication, marketing, psychology, language research, yes, and cultural change. And it could be possible to research bigger sounds. There are the references that I also reviewed. And thank you very much for your attention.